Right, good morning. Irrelevant of where we have the assembly, the expectation is that you come down and you come down in silence. And when you find your seat, you are sitting in silence and you're waiting for whoever is going to address you today. Again, we have got a jam-packed assembly, a few things that I want to go through with you. And Mr. Burgess is going to say a few things about the reward system in a moment as well. But I want to show you a clip, and hopefully some of you may have seen this already. You might be aware of the story. I just want to show you this clip that's happened within the last week or so in the Philippines.
The size, power and force of Typhoon Haiyan could be greater than anything we've seen before. Based on satellite pictures, scientists think it could be the most powerful recorded storm to ever hit land. But because the areas worst affected are so hard to reach, authorities and rescue teams know little yet about the damage Haiyan has done. But what we do know is this. The worst affected areas have been battered by heavy rain and winds that reached over 200 miles per hour. That's incredibly strong. Hurricane Katrina, which killed nearly 2,000 people in America in 2005, recorded winds of 170 miles per hour, while the storm that hit the UK last month only saw winds of 70 miles per hour. If winds in the Philippines are that strong, that's enough to move cars and blow down buildings, so the impact of Haiyan could be devastating. Typhoons and hurricanes are pretty much the same thing, powerful storms. It's where they are in the world that leads to what they're called. In this part of the world, it's a typhoon, and this typhoon has forced up to 1 million people to leave their homes and find shelter.
So, you might have seen the pictures on the news, you might have read about it in the newspapers, your form tutor might have spoken to you about it on Tuesday or Wednesday this week. But it is a horrendous thing that's happened in the Philippines. 11 million people have been affected by this typhoon. 200-mile-an-hour winds hit that country. The storm, so-called storm that we had a few weeks ago, was 70 miles an hour. The increase in that's hit those people, that hit the country, hit those people, has been huge. It's been massive. I saw a picture in the newspaper the other day, but there was an actual boat, and not just a boat, but actually like the size of a cruise liner, that was in the middle of what used to be a city and what used to be a school. The storm was so strong, the winds created a storm that was so strong, it blew this boat and made this boat come onto the land and land on this school. Horrendous, absolutely horrendous what's happened in the Philippines. And as a year 17, we are going to try and help do something about this. So in your form groups for the next week, I want you to have some discussions about ways in which we can help. Do a bit more research on what's happened out there in the Philippines. Investigate it and think about some other ways in which we can help. And there are some examples or where the money will go on this next clip. Okay, so what that clip basically said was that getting aid into the Philippines, because everything has been wiped out, because the airports have been wiped out, getting food for the people. There was the guy interviewed a group of children who were queuing up for rice. They were queuing up in knee-deep water to get some rice so they could eat. Because aid isn't getting there, help isn't getting there, because the devastation that has been caused by this typhoon. So something to reflect upon when people say to me, that's not fair, why can't I eat on the steps? Why are you telling me off for running around upstairs? Think about and reflect upon what has been happening and what's happened in the Philippines and how, as a form group and as a tutor group, can you help? And that's your target, and that's the things that you're going to be doing for the next week or so.
Good morning, Year 7. As Mr. Wells has said, it was very hard for them to get aid, okay, which is things like food and so on and so forth, into the Philippines. Now, I'm going to talk to you about rewards and so on and so forth, but this story is quite personal to me. My cousin Peter is the Lieutenant Commander of HMS Dairy, okay, which is normally a stealth ship. It's a warship, but they were on manoeuvres in the South China Sea, which means they were doing exercises in the South China Sea, and their ship has been sent to the Philippines to help. So all of these stories that happen on a global level, sometimes they become personalised to you. My cousin Peter is currently in the Philippines helping these guys, and what they do ordinarily, they send a ship there straight away, and immediately all of the thousands of men and women on that ship, it's quite a big ship, it's a destroyer, so it's a gunship basically, but all of those men and women on that ship, they go on to immediate rations, okay, they go on to war rations, and all of the extra food they have, they send to the people. Okay. I'm here to talk to you about e-praise, okay, and those little points that you've been getting in your lessons. Now, up to this point, it's about 44,000 points been issued, okay, to the whole school. But what does it mean? What are you going to get? Okay, so let's just have a look back at this system, okay. It says, so what do you get rewards for? In here, in this school, you get rewards for good classwork, good homework. You get them for representing the academy, so if you were doing a sporting activity, or if you're in the choir, or you're helping out awards evening or opening, that sort of thing. Get consideration for others, so respect, okay? Helping somebody else out. For teamwork and independent inquiry. And you also get it demonstrating resilience or self-management and helping out in the community. Now I just want to look at self-management and resilience. Okay? There are two people in this school that have broken their legs. Okay? One has broken this bone in their leg, which is the biggest bone in your body, the very hardest one to break, and the other one's broken the bottom bones in there. But they've not had one day off school because of it. That's resilience. That is toughness, and that is grit. Okay? All of my colleagues around here, teaching standard 8 talks about the real British values. Stiff upper lip. Okay, and that's exactly what that is. Okay? They've come to school, they're an example of grit and resilience. Okay? So, why shouldn't they be rewarded for it? Now, what happens with your points? Okay, what happens with your points? We will start now giving you awards. Okay? We will start now giving you awards. And you will get awards for the following points. If you get 100 e-praise points, you'll get a bronze award. It'll be a little badge that you can wear on your blazer, a little star badge. If you get 175 points, you'll get a silver award. Okay? If you get 250 points, you'll get a gold award. If you get 325 points, you'll get a platinum award. And if you get more than 400 points, you'll get a special prize. And only the people that get 400 points will know what that will be. Only those people will know what that will be. And to get that special prize, you need to get 400 points, or you won't know what it is. Now, this system's been thought up by myself and Mr. Siverton, who is over here. We are very boring because we're teachers. We're not cool, we're too old now. Okay? So that's what we've thought up. But the important thing for you now is what do you do next? Okay? Because all of those things I told you you get rewards for, that's what we've thought up. But you need to be telling your form tutors in form this week and next week what you think you should be getting rewards for. Or, more importantly, what you could do to get rewards. So if you said to your form tutor, what about this? Why don't we go and do this? Let's get rewards for it. You know, your form might go out and do a litter pick, or you might go out the front and do some weeding. Okay? It's about doing those things that you do at home with pocket money. You could actually get awards in school for. But the next step is for you guys to tell us what you want. Now we've got the achievement wall over there, and over the coming weeks, you will be seeing things like this. So school of the week, okay, you'll be seeing something similar like that, and you'll be seeing that on the board, and you'll be seeing it in your breakout space. You will also be seeing form of the week, and this is an important one, you'll be seeing student of the week. So you'll be able to know who the best student in Year 7 is, or the top 10 students in Year 7 that week, but also you'll be able to find out who's working towards being the student of the year. And the student of the year is the person who's going to have the most E-grade points. Okay? And that's across the whole school. So there's lots of opportunities to reward you. Okay? It's kind of gone by the by, because we have a good behaviour system that tells you what, but there's never anything to counteract that. This is that thing. Yes, young man? You start again every year you're in school, yeah. So technically, for you guys, you start in September and it finishes in June when you move up to Year 8. And then for every other kid in the school from the Year 8s, 9s, 10s, 11s, they start from June to June. So you've got less time to get more points. But over the last 13 years that I've been working in schools, Year 7 always get the most points. I don't know why, but they always do. Okay? So, that's just E-grades, okay? Keep getting your points, keep working hard, and I want to see people with badges appearing on their lapels. There are people in here already that will be getting bronze awards from your form tutors or Mr. Wells in next week's assembly, okay? In the next coming weeks, you will be given a log on so you can check your points. We'll make sure they come round so you can see how many points that you can get, or how many points you can get.
Thank you, Mr. What I really like about working with Year 7, and what makes me most proud, is when we mention something in assembly, and whether it's a few of you or a lot of you, you go away and you do something about it. And you think, yeah, I'm connected with that, I'm into that, I want to get involved with that. That's what makes me most proud and most happy about working with Year 7. I wasn't here last Thursday, but as you can see, all our assemblies are getting videoed at the moment. So when I got back from the conference I was on last Thursday, I watched our assembly back, and Mrs. Prosper did a bit about joining the Eco Club. And she has had some applications in for that Eco Club. It is not too late. If you want to get involved with the Eco Club that Mrs. Prosper spoke about last week, to have a conversation with her today, and we can look at getting you involved with that. What we also looked at, Mrs. Roberts came in and spoke about the Exceptional restaurants. And these students actually had interviews, and Mrs. Roberts' quote was, they all spoke brilliantly and really confidently about why they wanted to be part of the Exceptional restaurant. So, these people, Zara, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, Koya, Savannah Francis, Sophie Sire, Rochelle Stevenson Ricketts, Peyton, Ryan Withers, Caitlin Taylor, Louise Toucher, Tia Freeman, Morgan Holdsworth, and Jasmine Ray Barber. Can we give those people a round of applause? Everything is improving Year 7. Your behaviour is getting better, your punctuality is improving. We only had one person who was late into school today. Can I remind you that when you move around the school, it needs to be in a civilised way, which means walking and not running. Because some people are getting bumps and injured because of that. Have a good day, think about how we can help. Go.